Hi everyone, I have finally taken the time to make this status update. I've been very bad, and I'm sorry about that. It's mostly because I was just lazy. I've been putting all my time towards either stickering, modifying, lubricating my new puzzles here, or I've been editing family videos, so so I'm sorry about that. And another thing is that my mom and sister left on a trip to visit family, and they took my camcorder, or our camcorder. And here I was worried that they wouldn't be taking enough family videos, but then I have a new worry. I just totally remembered after they left that I don't have my regular video camera. So I'm stuck using a little digital camera. And, I feel so cramped and just full screen here, and not widescreen. Well, I suppose I can just back up the camera and then crop off the top and the bottom so that it look like widescreen. Yeah, I'll do that. Be right back. More room. Oh, it feels so much nicer. Anyway, my notes. Okay, so first I'm going to be talking about stuff that's gone on in the cubing community, and then I'll move on to myself. So, the first thing that's happened since my last video is the Cube4You 3x3x5 fully functional just came out. So, bad cubes. Fine, stick it over. Anyway, so it's just like this cube, only you can move this top layer, and it's not just glued on there in an extended form like mine. Although, unfortunately, they squished the outer two layers so that it would be cubic, so that kind of disappoints me. I wanted it to be shape-shifting. That would have been so cool. But nonetheless, it still looks like a very interesting puzzle, and I hope to get it sometime in the future. And another thing that has come out that should really interest all of you is the Cube4You Teraminx. And not only the Cube4You Teraminx, but the MF8 Teraminx. They have both released their own versions of it. So, I did go ahead and add them to a cart to check out the shipping prices. And if you want to go for slower shipping, then the MF8 Teraminx is the better deal. So it costs $100 on their website, and then the shipping, 15 to 30 days, is $6. So that's only $106. But if you want faster shipping, then it's cheaper to go through Cube4You. Their Teraminx is $94, and UPS for them is $23. So overall, that's around $118 for the Teraminx to have it just within a few days. But for MF8, if you want to get the express shipping, which I think takes up to a week or so, it's $20, so you'd have to pay $120. And the slow shipping, the USPS shipping for Cube4You, is $14, so that'll be $108. So it costs $2 more if you want. So if you want to pay the least amount for a Teraminx, the best option is to go for MF8, but if you want fast, the best option is to go for Cube4You. And I do not believe they have stickers on them yet, so you may want to wait on those stickers, unless you want to wait for CubeSmith to come out with their own. But Cube4You took a long time for them to come out for their stickers for the Gigaminx, like 2 months or so you'll have to wait a long time, but I don't think there's any stickers at all available for them. Alright, I believe that's all I have to say about in the cubing community. But as for me, about my selling my white VCube 5 and 7. As I'm sure you already know, I sold them so that I could buy myself a black collection. I just like the black cubes much better. I mean, just the white is so much more consistent with the other colors than the black was. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So, I enlisted them on eBay for the same price, not including the shipping, free, for the same price they sell them on Cube4You, no, vcubes.com. So, and they went up steadily throughout the week that I had them enlisted, and not surprisingly, my VCube 5 didn't go up at the last minute, so rarely my auctions do, where someone places a bid at the last minute. And it was funny, because the bid for my VCube 6 was around $64, and the bid for my VCube 7 was, I think, $60. So, like in the last few minutes, it was like that. My VCube 5 was being sold for my VCube 7. But seriously, within the last like 10 seconds, the auction went from $60 way up to $74. It just went like 65, 70, 72, 74. It was really fun to watch. It really blew my mind away. So I made more than enough money to buy a white V-Cube collection. So I was thinking I would have to invest money in it. But including the CubeSmith tiles, I actually did have to invest money. It was like $15, I estimated. So, yeah, the tiles for all 3 V-Cubes cost like 25 bucks. I mean, they're expensive. So, yes, but I'll get to those later. That's getting a little ahead of the story. And shortly after, my 3x3x4 and my crazy 4x4 came in the mail. My parents just told me to spend money on some cubes for Christmas. I ordered them about a week and a half before Christmas, so they didn't come until like several days until after Christmas. So, starting with the 3x3x4. So, it actually turns really good. I bought it from popbuying.com. It was cheaper than Cube4You, and I don't really want to order from Cube4You because I've heard people, like, they have problems with their orders, and I guess they don't they have no way to contact them or something. I just heard a lot of bad information about them, so I've just gone through other websites. So, and it was cheaper too. It came fully assembled, and there were instructions on the box that came with it, but I'm not looking at them. Currently, I can get this far, setting it up as somewhat as a 3x3 kind of, you know, like I can get all the edges paired and the centers done, and I can, you know, get like the first 3 layers, but man, I have to use the parity algorithm, you know, the normal one like this, so many times. You know, I use them to flip edges, so I still don't know how to fully solve this thing. Like, I figured out a PLL for switching 3 edges, but I have yet to figure out one that switches corners and where I can switch 2 centers, because when I apply the normal parity algorithm on the 4x4, it switches those 2 centers. So, yes, it's driving me crazy. And as for the crazy 4x4, oh, one more thing is, about this one, is when I ordered my Gigaminx stickers, right there I also ordered 3x3 tiles for my crazy 4x4, and then I just cut the remaining of them, because I've had some uncut tile material left over from other projects, so I just cut them myself. So, yeah. And I went ahead and ordered tiles for my crazy 4x4 too, which I'm not sure was completely necessary, because the stickers that came on this thing seemed like vinyl, you know, like CubeSmith, but they seemed thicker. So they were more durable, they were stronger, so they didn't seem as likely to chip or anything, but, oh well. So, basically, it's a 2x2 inside of a 4x4. Like, for example, like this curve piece, and this one, they're all connected together. So, yeah. And when you turn this top layer, it moves around those circles. And then when you turn this inner layer, the circle then moves. So, basically, these circles are attached to these things. So that's why, like, this piece, and this piece, they're all connected together, like a 2x2 corner. So, like, no matter what you do, those corners will always be touching. It took me a while to figure that out. And so I can solve it like a 4x4, but again, just like with this cube, whenever I apply the normal parity algorithm, it screws up the circles. So, see, they're all screwed up, and just from me experimenting with it, oh man, I did something really weird. Oh, okay. Just from me experimenting with it, I ended up switching the circles from doing that parity algorithm. Okay, now I'm screwing it up even more. Now, how I cut these tiles is I made little diagrams on the computer, like I did with the V-Cube tiles, and I just cut along the lines that I printed off, like I used adhesive paper, stuck them on there, and yeah, I cut them. But the only problem with that is that these edges here get extremely thin, and sometimes they get bent out of place. So I need to super glue them down everywhere. That's one drawback. So, like, if you ever want to get tiles with this, wait until the stickers wear out first, because I'm not sure how long those will last. And if I can get a significant amount of people interested in those tiles, I might be willing to post them on a forum site so that you can use them yourself. So, yeah. And then shortly afterwards, my Teraminx crystal came in the mail. I ordered it like the day after they came out for fear that they might get sold out like they did before. And this time they didn't come out with tiles, and it doesn't turn that great right now, but I will be lubricating it eventually and maybe even modifying it. And, you know, I really appreciate the MF8's honesty. Right in the description, they say this: "One quick word of advice. The crystal is a puzzle for advanced puzzlers and needs to be handled with loving care, especially during the breaking in period of about 1,000 turns. Gently tap one of the 12 sides of the crystal on a flat surface to fully align all of the pieces. This can be done at any time during the puzzling. Then holding half the puzzle gently in your left or right hand, and then gently turning one slice with the other hand. Never force a turn. Always gently reverse the turn slightly should it start to jam, and then continue." So it's really nice that the MF8 company said that. You know, I don't really care myself that does like have lockup problems or something. I'm just glad that they talk about that, because like on the VCube website, they say nothing of the VCube 6 clicking mechanism or the internal lockup problem that it had. So yeah, that's what I admire from MF8. So the puzzle is very interesting. I wanted to get one for like half a year now, but they were always too expensive on eBay since they were limited edition. So, and they are pretty expensive, $42. And basically what it is there's a Megaminx inside there, and then these are the corners of the Megaminx, and then these edge pieces are just put in between them. So the Megaminx edge is right under there, but because there's up to 4 sides that can move around a single edge piece, while, or rather on a Megaminx, there's only 2 sides that can move around an edge piece. So it is a very difficult puzzle. This is all I've been able to do so far, so I've got a lot of work to do about that. Alright, and now moving on to my black V-Cube. So I got them in a while ago along with the tiles, and oh, do I love them. And I've been playing more with these black V-Cubes more than any other puzzle I've gotten so far. They're just so much nicer. I just love playing with them. So, and after lubricating them and modifying this one, they do turn pretty good, but still not as good as the ones I sold on eBay. It'll probably take several months for them to get there. They come close, but they still have some time ahead of them. So, although the CubeSmith tiles on the VCube 7, like one corner does have a flaw, you know, I'd show you on the camera, but that one doesn't like taking close-ups. So it's like one corner is like slightly crooked. It doesn't go on there. Doesn't seem to go on there quite correct. Doesn't like fit on there properly. Like the angles are wrong. And some of the other edge pieces, like you can easily mix it up and turn it backwards. Yeah, there's like an angle on both sides. So, oh, small imperfections, but still, I love the tiles. So much better than the stickers. As for my black VCube 6, I am currently modifying it, and someone contacted me on YouTube saying that they figured out a better substitute for the pins. They said just put glue on the top, like in a P shape, but actually I didn't get it to work with super glue, so I went ahead and ordered his type of glue. So, and speaking of that, I will be making a new revised tutorial on how to modify a VCube 6. So I am hoping that will work out. Like in that tutorial, I will be showing it using a Dremel instead of using that one knife to cut off the bump. And I have figured out a bunch of other stuff that I will be showing in there. And for example, I figured out, this is the cube I'll be using in that tutorial, hopefully, if I can get the video camera back in time. I figured out that sanding down the base of the corners is completely unnecessary. I sanded down half of them on mine and compared it with the other half, and there was absolutely no difference. My theory is because there is a lot of straight edges in the VCube 6, rather in the VCube 5 and 7, they're rounded. So I did, however, find that if you put dirt in it, it smooths it out very nicely. Although the plastic still is a bit rough from the dirt, even after lubricating it. So if you put dirt in it, you will need to break all of that in. So, but it turns so much better after putting dirt inside it. So instead of sanding down the base of the corners, put dirt in it. That's what I found in my Gigaminx modification, that the outer layers did turn smoothly because of the dirt. Like, the slight clicky feel that it had went away. So, and another thing is I found you do not need to sand down the edges of these to reduce the popping. All you need to do is sand down the corner stocks. I found that after doing that, it doesn't pop as much just from sanding down the corner stocks. So, and another thing that's important is I have gotten reports about this. If you just sand down these inner pieces and not the bumps on the smallest inner pieces, then it'll make the clicking harder. It's strange. I also made a comparison video about that, so I'll just have to show it to you in a later time. So if you're going to get rid of the clicking, you have to put in the pins or possibly this new glue type thingy, if that works out. I'm still not sure if it will. Anyway, so yeah, expect that tutorial to come. And I would have made a challenge response today, except I don't have the video camera to record my deep voice in, because I use that microphone for it. Alright, and another thing, I've decided to go ahead and start advertising that I'm selling pieces again. This time with a price change. I realize now that I outrageously charged way too much for the pieces before. So this time I'm just going to charge a flat rate, $3 for anyone within the United States and Canada. So I'll put a little advertisement on my channel, so it'll be $3 for however many pieces you need. But if I feel that you're being greedy, I will reserve the right to charge you more. So just send me an email to me myself, 3.14@gmail.com, if you're interested. Don't send it to the other email address, thepiestore@gmail.com, because I rarely check that anymore. So I'd rather use my personal email. You can send me a message on YouTube, but I prefer the email because it's much easier to look back at anything that you said in the past, because I have sold things through YouTube messages and I found I have to go next, 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 looking for a message that they sent me a long time ago. And one thing that I wanted to point out is about the Teraminx that I forgot to talk about is I will not be ordering one right now. It's because number one, I just don't have the money. And number two, I would rather much see the reviews. The Cube4You website says that it's better than the Gigaminx, and Pestvic says that his Teraminx, since he gets to test them out, so he gets them for free, gets Cube4You puzzles for free, he says that it's really good, but we're still waiting for his review. And also, I would like to see if it comes out cheaper on another website. For example, the Gigaminx costs only like $45 with free shipping on dealextreme.com. So the links are in the description. But be very careful on that website. There's a lot of knockoffs. Oh, and yeah, just one more thing. For this guy I'm modifying the VCube 6 for, he also wanted chrome stickers. And wow, these things look awesome! But yeah, I prefer tiles myself, so oh man, can't wait to put them on there. So, and another thing I just remembered is I think we should start doubting the VCube advertisements from now on. Their first advertisement, get the VCube 6 collection and save like 10 euros. Amazing offer for September. They said that in September of 2008, and they've had the collections ever since. And the next thing, well, it's probably insignificant, but they had a sale a while back on all their cubes for their first year anniversary on all their cubes, and they said this amazing offer will be available for 40 days, but it only lasted for like 45. But it actually lasted for 45 or 46 days. So, well, yeah. So they do have a little problem with updating their website. Now about the VCube Illusion and Dazzler, they say these cubes will only be available for pre-order. So we will start shipping them out by the beginning of December, and they're still selling them. So if they ever come up with another advertisement like that, don't worry so much about ordering right away. I mean, you can think about it for a while. I mean, chances are that it'll continue. Oh, even after the sale, the prices only went up slightly. Like, for example, like, say, the V-Cube6 was $45, and they dropped down to $35. After the sale, it only went up to $37. Those aren't exact numbers, those are just guesses. So, alright. I believe that's all I have to say in this status update. It turned out rather long. I've already filled up one 2GB SD card in that camera. So, yep. The next video should be of my tutorial on how to modify the V-Cube6. Oh, and about reviews. I will be reviewing the 3x3, the 3x3x4, the Teraminx crystal, and the Crazy 4x4. But I think I'm going to drop the review for the Gigaminx because I've already modified it. I no longer have, I don't have any video of what it was before. So, yeah, I'm just going to skip that review. And I will be making disassembly tutorials for the Teraminx crystal and Crazy 4x4, but not the 3x3x4 because it's mostly a DIY, and it's very easy to take apart. I mean, if you know how to take apart a 5x5 and a 3x3, this is no big deal. So, but I will want to explore every aspect of these cubes beforehand, and, like, actually learn how to solve them before I make the reviews. So those may take a while before I make those reviews. Alright, that's everything I have to say. Goodbye.